Yeah, so it is happening now. It's taking its own time. I'll make you co-host. Okay. Hare Krishna. Host. Confirm. Yes. Hare Krishna,
Thank you,
Manusha Mataji. Hare
thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
How are you?
All Krishna's mercy. And we are all here because of his mercy only. Otherwise, not possible. As simple as that.
Yes,
So
yes.
I think we're live, I believe.
Yeah, Prabhuji, we are live.
Yes, yes, yes. Hare Krishna. So let's start because time already we have lost time. So we start with chapter 4. Magyanaतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्ते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो 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 विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद सद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा humble obeisance to Radha and Govinda. Hare Krishna. We start with chapter 2. So, what has happened in chapter 3 is Krishna talked about the Buddhi Yoga, and then, at the end of the chapter 2, so that becomes the basis of chapter 3, and from which Arjuna started asking, where should I go? Whether I should renounce everything or I do action? Then Krishna says, no. So, please tell Ekam Bada, Tad Ekam Bada. Then Krishna takes us to Niskama Karma Yoga. You please fight for the sake of fighting, Niyatam Kuru Karma. And then is Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. So primarily become a, you know, demonstration or leading by example, so that what people will say that you have left the battlefield and went. The Dhanurdhara, the Sabyasachi, the Parantapa has, that's the example you want to set. And ultimately the chapter 3 ended with the knowledge of the greatest enemy, and that is lust. That's how the, and also what are the ways to get over the enemy. The little glimpse of that was also, knowledge was also there. So iha bairanam it went. So what were the sitting places of lust? Anyone remembers? Hare Krishna. I thought let me put some questions in each slide so that we have some interaction. Hare Krishna. Am I audible? Am I
Yes,
audible? Hare.
yes, Prabhuji.
So, uh, any guesses? See, it's not a quiz. It's not nothing. We are discussing. Okay. So, sitting. There are three sitting places of the lust. And what were those? Okay, I'll give a hint. One is sense. Other is mind, and third is intelligence. Not mind, intelligence, ego. That would be wrong. Primarily the sense, mind, and intelligence. These are the three sitting places of lust. So we can, and also we know the eightfold devastation which takes place, which starts with contemplation and then goes to attachment, then to from the attachment there is lust, from lust to anger. So even in that process also, we see that if we want to get out of any of the thing, then ultimately the start for mostly the start point is the lust. And also we talked about different levels of consciousness. In fact, different level of lust as well, with respect to human beings, with respect to animals, with respect to plants. And also we have certain comparisons and simile. And anyone again remembers the similes? The consciousness for the, let's say, trees, and the consciousness for human, it was compared with, so something was compared to, dust on the mirror. Whose was that? Hare Krishna. Anyone, please. I'm not getting any answer. Unilila Mataji, you please help. Otherwise, how do we proceed? Hare Krishna. Am I audible? Anusha
Yes,
Mataji,
Prabhuji.
you must be remembering, right?
What,
I
Prabhuji?
dust on the mirror.
Yeah, that is, dust on the mirror is for whom? For the trees, for the animals, or for the human beings? Okay, dust on the mirror is of,
Chetotarpana Marjanam.
yeah,
Prabhuji.
Chetodharpana Marpanam is something of that sort. Then fire and smoke is also there, none of that. But dust on the mirror is mostly Chetodharpana Marpanam is for us, and the embryo is that example is for the tree, right? And then smoke and fire. So all these examples were there. Okay, fine. Now let's proceed with chapter 4 summary. So we have 5 sections. Would like to cover mostly half of this today. Let's try. So knowledge about Krishna's transcendental. So he gives the knowledge. Evam parampara praptam rajarshayo viduhu. Then Krishna as the goal of all paths and the creator of Varnashrama system. So Chaturvarnama system. Ye yatha mam prapadante tam tathaiva bhajamyaham. All this will come. Then Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga we discuss, but then detail of karma will be there. Different types of karma. What is karma? What is vikarma? What is akarma? Everything will be discussed. Then sacrifices lead to transcendental knowledge. Jnana yajnaha parantapa, and summary of transcendental knowledge. Ultimately, tadviddhi, how it should be, how the knowledge should be received, with what kind of disposition. So tadviddhi pranipatena, pariprashnena sevaya. So submissively, how the knowledge is to be received. So 3 types of karma we just talked about: karma, akarma, and vikarma. I think that everyone remembers what is an akarma. Hare Krishna, right?
Without fruitive desire. Prabhuji.
That is niskama
Without
karma.
attachment.
That is niskama karma. That is not akarma. Without attachment is niskama karma. However, akarma is what? Karma is pure devotional service, because that is transcendental, right? And vikarma is doing all the abominable things which are against the scriptural injunctions. And karma would be anyway. Papa would be a karma, and also punya would also be a karma. Right. So we proceed. So transcendental knowledge about Krishna, 4.1 to 4.10. Now Krishna says, Bhagavan Uvacha, let's sit. So Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Imam Vivasvati Yogam Proktavan Aham Abhyayam Vivashwan Manave Praha Manur Iksha Kave Brabit. The personality of Godhead Lord Sri Krishna said, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god Vivaswan, and Vivaswan instructed to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu in turn instructed to Ikshvaku. So now Sri Krishna told about at least 3 disciplic succession, and after that, what happened also he will say. But in this verse itself, there are 3 important points. And what are they? I think number one is that the transcendental knowledge which is coming from Krishna can be received only, and only through the disciplic succession. It is straight away coming from this verse. Second is the knowledge or the truth about Krishna's appearance, disappearance, and his pastimes can be known through this knowledge and not through any other knowledge. And third important point which will come is that will let us look at. Knowing these truths, one who takes shelter of Krishna becomes purified and attains Krishna. These are the three important things which comes from the first verse itself. And then what he says, so Bhagavad Gita was delivered by law to the royal order of all planets, beginning from the sun planet. There is a very, very interesting thing which will come now. Sun is the king of all planets. The kings of all planets need to understand Bhagavad Gita to rule the citizens and protect them from material bondage to lust, because lust was the greatest enemy. The message that human life is meant for cultivation of spiritual knowledge should be conveyed to the citizens through education, culture, and devotion. Propagation of Krishna consciousness was necessary. And in this millennium, the sun god is known as Vibhashwan. In some other millennium, sun god will be called in some other name. So in this millennium, the sun god is called Vivaswan, the king of the sun planet. Sun planet is the origin of all planets within the solar system. In the Brahma Samhita 5.52, what is stated? यच्चाकुर एष सविता सकल ग्रहाणाम राजा समस्त सूर मूर्ति रसेश तेजः यस्या गया भ्रमति सम यस्या गया भ्रमति संभूत काल चक्रो गोविंदमादि पुरुषम तमहम भजामि. Now, sun god has been described as the chakshu or the eyes of the Sakala Grahanam, all the planets. Now can you connect the solar
Hare Krishna,
system?
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Your PPT is not visible. Are you showing PPT?
My PPT is not visible.
No, Prabhuji.
Please, you should have told it. I'm sorry, really. What has happened?
I thought you were asking question. That's why I didn't interrupt.
Oh, okay. Just one moment. PPT. Okay, not an issue. Let me do that. Okay, so what did I do? I did not share. Okay. Sure. Now is it visible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so this is what I was saying, that solar system in the science, when initially it was propagated, I mean rather proposed, I would say, of course later on proven also through absolute physics. That was started with, let's say, Copernicus, and ultimately established through equations by Newton. So that happened in 1686 or 87. And when this Brahma Sangita, this one is there, where it is saying that sun is in the central place, not the geocentric, but sun-centric planetary system. It is already saying, na, Yakshakshuresa Savita Sakala Grahana, Raja Samasta Sura Murti Rasesa Tejaha, Yasya Agyaya Brahmati. On his direction, all the time is running. So we can see that Brahma Samhita was in fact already has established this before. So Lord Krishna originally made Vivashwan his first disciple to understand the science of Bhagavad Gita, that is our sun god. And the Gita is standard book of knowledge coming down from time immemorial, of course. But how much time immemorial? That also will say that for at least as on today, when was the last Gita was spoken? Let's say sun god, it was something around 1.2 million years ago. But actually it has come to earth not 1.2 million years ago. It has come about 2 million, that we'll see. History of Gita also is there. There's a mention even in the Santi Parva of Mahabharata. Treta yugadaucha tato vivaswan manave dadau. Then manuscha lokabhriti artham sutaye kesa sitoye ikvashukave dadau. Then ikshokshena cha Katho Vyapya Lokan Avasthitaha. In Treta Yoga, the science of relationship with the Supreme was delivered by Vivasvan to his lawgiver son Manu. So Manu is the first person for the mankind. He is the father of mankind, and he gave it to Maharaj Ikshaku. Ikshaku is a dynasty where Sri Ramachandra came, right? This is a Raghu dynasty. Similarly, Sri Krishna came in the appeared in the Yadu dynasty. Bhagavad Gita existed in human society from the time of Maharaja Ikshwaku. And how much was that time? So that also Krishna is going to say. So now history of Bhagavad Gita. Evam parampara praptam imam rajar shayo viduhu sakalneha mahata yoga nastaha parantapa. The supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost. So here Krishna is saying that it is lost primarily because of time. Kaleneha mahata yoga nasta parantapaha. There could be other reasons also, as we understand very well, because to understand Gita, there should be, the persons who will be propagating should be in the parampara, and they should be, and the Varna Sankara and other people should not be there. So once all those things happen, then ultimately it gets lost somewhere. But that is not what is mentioned here. It is mentioned that okay, fine, it is primarily because of the time, and ultimately I have to again re-establish it. So he again re-established in 5,200 years ago. That is during the just in the start of the battle of Mahabharata, or in the Kurukshetra. Okay, so at the present moment, we have just passed through 5,000 years of Kali Yuga. That is 4.32 lakhs, or 4,32,000 years. That is the time of Kali Yuga. So if you multiply it by 2, that is Dwapara Yuga. That is 8.64 lakhs, or 8,64,000. Then 4.32 in multiplied by 3. So that is 12.96 lakhs years. So 12,96,000 years. That is the lifetime of any Treta Yuga. But these yugas are again, all the four yugas will again, repeat. Thus, some 25 lakh 97,000 years ago, Manu spoke the Bhagavad Gita to his disciple and son Maharaj Ikshaku, this king of this planet Earth. Age of the current Manu is calculated last how much? Something around 305 million years, of which 120 million have passed. So this is the timeline. So when we say that when Bhagavan says that he first conveyed or transmitted this knowledge to Sun God, and then from Sun God it came to Manu, and Manu to Ishaku. Then, if you look at the timeline also, we'll see that definitely Manu has come after Sun, and Ikshvaku definitely have come after Manu, because we can look at how much is the lifespan of Manvantaras, that we can see, and also Sun. So, based on that, all this calculation has come. So, accepting that before the birth of Manu and Gita was spoken by the Lord to the sun god Vivashwan, Gita was spoken roughly about 1.2 million years ago. It has been extinct in human society for 2 million years. Re-spoken by Lord Arjuna about 5,200 or 400 years ago. It was spoken to the sun god Vivaswan because he is also Kshatriya and is the father of Kshatriyas, who are descendants of sun god, or the Surya Vamsha Kshatriyas. So, Bhagavad Gita, like the Vedas, spoken by Lord as Apurusheya. The Vedas are also called Apurushaya. That is not written by anybody, because these are called Shrutis, which comes through auditory reception. The knowledge coming through auditory reception is called uh, Shruti, and therefore, because it is Apurushaya, so therefore it is Shruti. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita is also Apurushaya, is a superhuman. So Gita must therefore be accepted without mundane interpretation. That's more important, and that is what the reason of parampara coming into. Otherwise, the philosophy is such that everybody is tempted someone who is not in the parampara will be tempted to concoct it and with something his own agenda. That's the whole problem, and that problem we've seen. There are thousand and thousand, you know, copies or different people have made their Gita. In fact, today only someone came to my office and he was saying that I was reading. I got a copy of Gita and I've started reading it. I thought it must be Bhagavad Gita as it is. He said, no, no, it is written by someone. Okay, let's not name him, but the name is My Gita. Now, how it can be My Gita? There is nothing like a My Gita. Bhagavad Gita is of Krishna's Gita. So the moment someone says it is My Gita, means he's making his own interpretations. That is the most dangerous things to happen. In fact, Prabhupada says that even the materialistic person is better who is at least engaged in material activities which are at least factual in the sense that may not be real. There is a difference between real and factual in the sense, okay, there is some issues which he's dealing, let's say he's talking about some news articles, some research, whatever, at least there is some facts are there. But the mayavadis who misinterpret Gita, they rather, incur more sin because they uh, pollute the knowledge, and which is a bigger sin. So therefore, all our acharyas, everyone warrants and give warning, great warning that we please be, you know, away from the Maya Bhashya. Always be away from that, because that will totally pollute us. It goes somewhere, and someone thinks that okay, it is so beautiful, and suddenly it will, jump to some unnecessary conclusions. So primarily the paramparas are four only, and if someone is saying that, I have the knowledge of Gita, if someone is saying or claiming, then he or she has to be from one of these parampara, because these are the only four paramparas. First parampara is Lord, where Krishna's is giving to Lord Brahma, then he is giving to Sri Lakshmi ji, then he is giving to Lord Shiva, and then he is giving to four Kumaras. This is the parampara. And from where, all the paramparas are getting the knowledge. For example, what we are following in ISKCON is our parampara is called what? Brahma Madhva Gaudiya parampara. Similarly, the proponents of Lakshmi Ji Parampara is Ramanujacharya, then Vishnu Swami for Lord, Shiva Parampara, where because Shiva himself is the greatest devotee of the greatest Vaishnava himself, and for Kumaras. So who are they? So here we see our parampara here. It is from Krishna to Brahma to Narada to our disciplic successor Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Siddhanta Saraswati, Srila Prabhupada, and then all of us. So four main sampradayas we just talked about and are the main schools of thought in the Vedic tradition. One should belong or be part of one of these sampradayas to considered authorized in their Vedic teachings or practice. If he is not or she is not, then definitely she is following some concocted version, which Arjuna in fact asks in the subsequent chapters. Arjuna asks Krishna that suppose somebody is not worshipping, you know, not as per the Vedic scripture. So he's worshipping something. Then what happens to him? So that question is also being answered. So Sri Sampradaya, main exponent is Ramanujacharya, who lived in 12th century, there is something around 1016, propagated the doctrine Visishta Advaita, that is a oneness with varieties of Lord and his energies. And that is the parampara coming from goddess Lakshmi ji. Brahma Sampradaya, which we just talked about, our parampara, Brahma Gaudiya, Madhva, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya parampara. Main exponent is Madhavacharya. And our Sri Chaitanya Deva's guru, uh, who is his guru? Hare Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Deva's guru, Sri Ishwarapuri. Then Rudra Sampradaya and Vishnu Swami is a proponent. Similarly, our Kumaras, they are the main exponent of Nimbarka. I'm sorry, Nimbarka is the proponent of Sanat Parampara or Kumara Parampara. So this is how the parampara is. So we belong to a particular parampara. You can see here our founder Acharya is is considered as our guru. The Bhagavad Gita is coming directly from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is transcendental knowledge and must not be altered in any way. So it has been 100 times it has been told that no concoction, no alteration, no change, and as it is. The knowledge of the Gita must be accepted without material interpretation or by mental speculation. It like my Gita, I was just talking about. It must be understood by the mercy of the Lord. This last line is very important. Cannot be understood. In fact, it's not that we read the verses, we listen to lectures, you have devotee association, all this will happen, but it doesn't mean that knowledge we can still have without the mercy of Krishna. That is just not possible. So once we understand that it is just not possible without the mercy of Lord, and Krishna says, I am telling it to you, Arjuna, because of your two qualities. One is you are a bhakta and you are my sakha, you are my friend and you are the devotee, and only a devotee gets the mercy. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita must be accepted from someone who has achieved the Lord's mercy. That is a proper qualification. Like Prabhupada, we can see. This is the proper qualification. Having learned it properly from someone, having the proper qualification, who learned it properly, etc. This is the parampara. And what is properly? Properly is the full system which is there. So always in all the lectures, Prabhupada says, in fact, my teachers also say that whenever anyone asks that he wants to give you some knowledge, knowledge is always good, but we should ask that who is his guru? Number one question we should always say, who is his guru? So that at least we know that he belongs or she belongs to a particular parampara, because knowledge cannot come without parampara, that is for sure. And who is your guru should be our first question. I'm not saying all of us who are part of this, but when we're talking to our families, our friends, and others, colleagues, then also this should be the way of talking. Then, second is also, there are many times, there are many instructions are given saying that, okay, this is how Lord Krishna will be pleased. Let's say somebody says that if you give a flower, a fruit, a water, and then Krishna gets pleased. Now, then we should ask that, okay, fine. Now we know, but ideally we should ask, okay, where it is written. So when we are in ISKCON, when we are in this, Krishna consciousness under the system of parampara, then therefore Sri Bhakti Vedantas, why they are called Bhakti Vedanta? Because it is both. It is the knowledge as well as it's the devotional service. This is a combination of knowledge and devotional service makes one a Bhakti Vedanta. That's the position. So if you're saying that Krishna is will be pleased and he will, what is the proof that he actually the bhoga he eats? The proof is that, but he only say he directly says, once Krishna says, can we in fact question that? No one else is saying on his behalf. He is saying, Patram Puspam Phalam Toyam, Yo me bhaktya prayachati, he's saying 9.26. Somebody saying that you do not have any right on your, you know, action, the result of your action. You have only right on your action. No, not on the result. But what I mean, where from you're saying this? Okay, it is coming from 2.47. Similarly, all these questions should be asked. So this is the life of Brahma, which is 311 trillion years. One kalpa of Brahma is about 4.32 billion years. So how many kalpas he is? So he lives so many kalpas. Then Manvantaras. So Manvantara is something around 306.7 millions, and Dwapara Yuga is 4.32. So each and each yugas we have already seen, like three times, two times, etc. that we have seen. So if we calculate all this, then ultimately we reach here, like something around 5,000, one. So we add here 155, then, convert all these millionaires into billion, sorry, trillion, then it becomes 155.52 plus 0.00197196 billion, sorry, trillion years. That is the life of Brahma. If that is so, if that is so, and also the how many yugas are over, how many cycles of yugas are over. So 27 cycles of yugas are over. So 27 into 4.32 into 10, that is about 116 million years have passed. Then, of course, Satya, Tatya, and Dwapar have also passed. So naturally, 3.8 million years have already passed. And in this particular Kali Yuga also, how many years have passed? Something around 5.54 years, or maybe little more, we can say. Uh, you know, uh, Another some 4 or 5 years we can add, whatever. But that will not make much change in the million size of the million. Accepting that before the birth of Manu. So therefore, accepting that before the birth of Manu, the Gita was spoken, this statement is now proven through this calculation. So Gita was spoken 120 million years ago, 2 verse 1, proven here. So this is how it is. Because life of Manu is 120 million. But then Gita came on earth when? It is something around 2 million years ago. That's how the Shanti Parva tells us. And this is a calculation. So one day of Brahma is how much? 864 million. 360 million of 1 hour of Brahma. 1 minute of Brahma is 60 lakhs. And then 1 second of Brahma is 1 lakh years. So evayang maya tedyang yoga prukta puratanaha bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam hi etat uttamam. That very ancient science of the relationship with Supreme is today told by me to you because you are my devotee as well as my friend and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of the science. So this is clear here. To receive the knowledge, two qualifications are required. So one, he's saying Arjuna is a devotee and a friend and accept Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. So if these two qualifications are there, then only the knowledge can come. And only devotees can understand this knowledge, not who do not accept Krishna as he is. Because people say that, okay, Krishna has all these powers, but he's a human. Even in his time, there are people who did not believe him, did not understood, in fact, did not understand that he is the supreme personality of Godhead. We know, in fact, the entire, uh, Kaurava, the entire Kauravas, they could not understand. Shishupal could not understand. The full army could not understand. So, therefore, they're on the opposite side, right? Because everyone was given a chance that where you want to join. So, Arjuna's doubt. Now, Arjuna is asking this question because now Krishna has said that he is given to sun god. So, 120 million years ago, now he has a doubt. Aparam bhavato janma, param janma vivaswataha, katham etat vigyaniyam tvam ado proktavaniti. How it is possible? Katham etat vigyaniyam. Arjuna said, the sun god Vivaswan is senior by birth to you. How I am to understand that in the beginning you instructed the science to him? Now, Arjuna knows that he is a supreme personality of Godhead. So, he definitely knows. But why he's asking this question? For us to know, for everyone to know who is Krishna. So Arjuna is asking all this. So why does Arjuna question about this problem? Because to defy demonic and atheist people who say that Krishna is ordinary. So he wants to prove that because Krishna is going to say this now. So he wants Krishna to speak authoritatively. So once Krishna says what English they say, if you listen it from the horse's mouth. I mean, that's the kind of expression in English, of course. And then, so Arjuna is inquiring this for those who do not believe in Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Arjuna wants perfectly and knows perfectly that Krishna is the Supreme Personal Godhead. However, he wants that Krishna says in his own words that he is the Supreme Personal Godhead. And Krishna appeared as a son of Devaki and Vasudeva on the earth of Lord by his own benediction. So therefore, the atheists who consider Krishna as ordinary man came to know that Krishna is superhuman. By how? By how? When Krishna says about him. So he will say now. So, so there are some other things like Sri Krishna Avatara took place during this, Sandhi Kala. There is transit time in Dwapara Yuga in the 20th Mahayuga of Vivaswata Manvantara. The 27 Manvantaras we've seen, right? Lord Krishna considered as the Paripurna avatar of Lord Narayana or Sri Krishna. And he appeared in the Chandra Vamsam, that is a Yadu dynasty, and he was born in the noble couple Vasudeva that we know. Devaki, now, how Devaki and Vasudev were so fortunate to have Krishna as their son. So, what is that reason? What was their past life? Their past life is this, that in their previous birth, they had performed severe penance and austerities for several thousands of years to have Lord Sri Mahavishnu as their child for 3 lives. So, in first life, what has happened? In the first life, he took birth as Prusuni Garbha in Kruta and Satya Yuga to the divine couple, Prusni and Sutapa. And then to Lord Vamana, to the divine sage couple Kashyap and Aditi. So Lord Vamana is the son of Kashyap and Aditi. They are also no one but Devaki and Vasudeva in their previous lives. And in the third life, Sri Krishna to Devaki and Vasudeva. So beautiful. Before taking birth, he gave darshan to his parents in his original form of Lord Sri Narayan and reminding them the lineage and the boon given to them. We can see. So, therefore, Krishna reveals his position and based on the question of Arjuna. So, now he talked about the parampara and he says that he remembers, but you do not remember. So, bahuni me betitani janmani tava charjuna nanyaham veda sarmani tan aham veda sarmani natvam vetta parantapa. Me bahuni janmani व्यतीतानि तब च अर्जुन तान aham sarvani veda tvam na vetha parantapa. So Sri Bhagavan, so he said that many births both you and I have passed. All the births I remembers everything, but you don't. O subdue enemy. Here we can see that Krishna appeared as the four-handed form in the jail, in the prison room, the prison cell, to both Vasudeva and Devakirani. However, immediately he switched on to the baby form because of the Vatsala Bhava of Devaki. So 4.6 Ajopi san abhyatma bhutanam ishwarapi san prakritim swam adhisthaya sambhavami atma mayaya sambhavami atma mayaya. Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. So here, in fact, uh, Krishna, in fact, refuted all the Mayavadis here because he's saying that he has a transcendental form. So the formless concept has been completely eradicated here. He's saying, I come in my transcendental form in all the millenniums and it never deteriorates. The same form. And it is Aja. And difference between Krishna and us. So we talk about the gross body and the subtle body. The gross body talks about the earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Then the subtle body is of mind, intelligence, ego. This is the three one. But Krishna's form is spiritual, our form is temporary. But Krishna is a form. It is not formless. He is a body, but it is a transcendental body. This is what is to be understood. Ishvara Paramakrishna Sachidananda Swarupa Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam Sachidananda Vigraha. And we are controlled by Maya. Krishna is the controller of Maya. So this is, and also that the other one, Ye yatha mam prapaddante tam tathaiva bhajamyaham. Whoever surrenders to me in whichever way, I surrender to him in the same way. I reciprocate with him in the same way. We can see uh, when Vasudeva and Devaki was going at that time, when the celestial message came that the eighth child is going to kill you, then immediately Kamsa took out his sword and tried to kill Devaki. And that point of time, you see in the picture that Kamsa was holding the hair of Devaki by left hand, and here you see Krishna is killing Kamsa by holding the hair on the left hand. Yang ye yatha mam prapadante tam tatha tathaiva bhajamyaham. So these are differences between Krishna and the conditioned living entity. Krishna's body is eternal and remembers past, present, and future. He is achyuta, never forgets, fallible. Even he becomes the chariot driver, but he never falls from the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He remains as it is. We know he took just one will, you know, from the chariot, and he was able to devastate everything. So he doesn't require even a weapon. I mean, the conditioned souls are also eternal. That is how we say that we are same in quality, not in quantity. So we are also ajo, we are also nitya, we are also purana, saswata, everything we are. We are having all this quality. Ajo nitya saswatam purana, anahanyate hanimane sarire. All this we have, but we forget because because of the material nature, and we identify with material nature, and thereby all this happens. And he remembers all the births. We forget because body changes and deteriorates. He appears by his own will. We appear, or rather we take birth because of our karma. And his body is transcendental, our body is material. So no difference between body and self. There is no difference between his body, his self, his pastimes, his name, and his paraphernalia. So Lord's Prakriti, nature, and Swarupa, his form, the Lord appears in his own eternal body, two-handed with flute. Common living entity changes from one body to another. Although his body does not deteriorate like a material body, it still appears that Lord Krishna grows from childhood to boyhood and from boyhood to youth. But astonishingly enough, he never ages beyond youth. At the time of the Battle of Kurukshetra, he had many grandchildren at home. Or, in other words, he had sufficiently aged by material calculation. Still, he looked just like a young 20 and 25 years old. And when he was in fact singing Gita, that point of time also, he was just looking like a 20, 25 years young. He has grandchildren by the time. So his form is transcendental and young all the time. So therefore, it is clear that in spite of his being in the material world, he is the same unborn, that is Aja, eternal, that is Saswata, and full of bliss, the Sachidananda Swarupa, knowledge and changeless. Yada, so 4.7 to 4.8 talks about his activities. It explains when and how. So there are two things: when he appears and and why he appears. The reason for the time when he appears and reason for why he appears. So first one is very, very famous. We all know this is where we see that Krishna is. You see, Kamsa is holding the hair by left hand. Ye yatha maham prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamyaham. यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानमधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्. So whenever and wherever there is a decline in religion and descent of Bharata and predominant rise of religion, so two things have to happen: decline of religion has to happen, and also there has to be rise in irreligion, and both are not same. That there could be, there could be a situation of rise of irreligion, but there will be some still people, there who are religious. Therefore, in four yugas, we say Satya Yuga is standing on four legs. Treta is on three legs. Dwapara is on two legs of dharma, and Kali Yuga with no leg. Okay. Did you know this? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So Dwapara is two, so it is standing on two legs. Treta is three, standing on three legs of dharma. So when does Krishna appear? We understood that. And why the Lord appears and disappears in this world? Although the Lord appears on schedule, namely at the end of the Dwapara Yuga of the 20th millennium of the 7th Manu, in one day of Brahma, he has no obligation to adhere to such rules and regulations because he is completely free to act in whatever he wants to. He therefore appears by his own will whenever there is a predominance of religiosity and disappearance of true religion. When these two happens, then he appears. That's the only reason. And principle of religion are laid down in the Vedas. And any discrepancy in the matter of it's not properly executed, the rules of Vedas, how one become irreligious by not following the Vedas, by not following the prescribed duties as you know as injunction of the Vedas. Therefore, the principles of dharma or religion are the direct orders of Supreme Personality of Godhead. The highest principle of religion is to, of course, surrender to Him. That's the highest religion. Sarvadharman Parityaja, we know that. Lord Buddha, an incarnation of Krishna, appeared when materialism was rampant and materialists were using the pretext of the authority of the Vedas. So this is all the reason therefore, although there are certain restrictive rules and regulations regarding animal sacrifice for particular purpose in the Vedas, this is there because that say that even the animal who is sacrificed immediately, got over his karma and goes and goes to the human life. So that is also there, but those kind of yajnas are not possible. Those kind of brahmanas are not there. So all that is there, right? So Lord Buddha appeared in order to stop this nonsense and to establish the Vedic principles of non-violence. Each and every avatar or incarnation of Lord has a particular mission described in the revealed scripture. No one should be accepted as the avatar unless he is referred to by the scriptures. So one we understood that who is supposed to be a guru, who should be in the parampara, he should be at least out of the four paramparas. Then only he or she can be a guru. And second is that nobody can be an avatar unless otherwise it is already mentioned in the Shastra. Because we know so many people who in our time also, so many people have come on this earth who claimed themselves as Bhagavan, Avatar, etc. etc. He speaks as much about religion as can be understood by the particular people under the particular circumstance. But the mission is the same to lead people to God consciousness or Krishna consciousness. Sometimes he describes personally, and sometimes he sends his bona fide representative in the form of his son, servant, himself, some disguised form, etc. etc. The whole purpose of the mission of incarnation is to arouse Krishna consciousness everywhere. So the last line, ultimately the ultimate dharma is Krishna consciousness, and the ultimate mission of Krishna is also Krishna consciousness. And that's what we're trying to do. Where you're trying to use all our senses for the pleasure of Krishna. So sarvapadi panirmuktam, then after that what? Okay, the last one. Rishikena Rishikesa Sevanam iti bhakti ruchyate. So the second is now next is the uh, why he comes. So there are 2 points. One is paritrana sadhuna, and the second is a vinasaya duskrita. So to to deliver the pious, that is sadhus, and to annihilate the duskrita or the miscreants, as well as to establish dharma sansthapanartha also. So as to re-establish the principle of the religion. And he comes million after millennium. So Lord appears in different incarnation to deliver the devotee and vanquish the demon miscreants The demon harasses the devotee, even though the letter may happen to be his kin. We have seen that in all the cases, from starting from the Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad Maharaj was his son. In case of Kangsha, we can see uh, all their blood related, their kith and kin, and a demonic person or a demon does all this. And in case of Krishna, in case of Kamsa, Devaki was his sister, and also he killed all the sons. So Lord Krishna appeared primarily to deliver Devaki rather than kill Krishna, but both were performed simultaneously. That means both means what? Means Paritrana Sadhunam and Vinasaya Duskrutam. These two are happening simultaneously. So Paritrana of Devaki and the whole, you know, not only just Devaki and Vasudev, but everyone who was there in his time, all the good people, and also to King the Duskruta, that is Krishna Kamsa. Such incarnations are situated in the spiritual world, the kingdom of God. When they descend to the material creation, they assume the name Avatara, because Avatara means who descends. So there are various kinds of avatars such as Purusha avatars, Guna avatars, Lila avatars, Sakti avatars, Manvantara avatars, and Nuga avatars, all appearing on schedule all over the universe. Krishna is primal Lord, the fountainhead of all avatars. Lord Sri Krishna descends for the specific purpose of mitigating the anxieties of the pure devotees who are very anxious to see him in his original Vrindavana pastimes. Therefore, the prime purpose of the Krishna avatar is to satisfy his unalloyed devotees. The incarnation in the age of Kali is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who spread the worship of Krishna by the Sankirtana movement. So he is the Nama Prabhu or Sankirtana Prabhu, we can say. This avatar of Lord does not kill the miscreants like Paritrana Sadhuna, Vinasaya Duskrutam. So he doesn't do this too. Rather, he delivers them by his causeless mercy by chanting name. So, what is the benefit of knowing Krishna's appearance and activities? Now, Krishna says, we have been always saying this. We say that Machita Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kathayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti. So, Kathayantascha Mam, so please talk. So, they are talking, the devotees are talking about me, and they are getting pleased, and they are getting ecstasy. So, but how it happens? Because Krishna is saying here, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. Janma karma cha me divyam. My appearance and disappearance are divine or transcendental in nature. This knowledge, if somebody knows tattvataha, then he doesn't take birth. Na eti mam eti sorjuna. He comes to me. He comes to my abode, and he doesn't go back. We see here the beautiful pastime of Nalakubar and Manigriva, who were cursed by Narada because they were unaware. They were naked and unaware. They were swimming and playing, having some water sports, and they could not you know even recognize in their mood and give their obeisance to Narada, and he cursed them that you are having a consciousness as that of a tree. We just we just said about the consciousness of a tree, which is like a the baby in the So you become a tree, and this is the beautiful pastime where Krishna delivered them because he was tied to that tree by Yashoda Maya. Hare Krishna. वीतराग भय क्रोधो मन्मया मामुपाश्रिता बहवो ज्ञान तपसा पूता मद्भाव मागताः. Being freed from my attachment, fear, sorry, being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past become purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. So Krishna is now giving this example as well as guarantee that whoever has come get this knowledge, and there are many who had got this knowledge in the past, this transcendental knowledge, and they all have attended me. And there are many examples we know, from Prahlad Maharaj to Dhruva Maharaj to Narada to So many. Material people attached to bodily conception of life cannot understand or even imagine that there is a transcendental, imperishable body full of knowledge and eternal bliss as that of the Lord. In the materialistic concept, see what is happening is why the Mayavadis are actually fearful. They are fearful because they think that their body is expiring, so there cannot be a body. The God cannot be a body because body in any case will expire. And so therefore they are fearful. It frightens them. So therefore they would rather love to a concept of 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 void or Brahma Jyoti. Because the moment they think about a personal feature, it frightens them. Hence, they prefer a kind of merging into the impersonal void in the Brahma Jyoti. So they stay there for some time and then again comes down. So this is the kind of fearful stage of life, devoid of perfect knowledge of spiritual existence, because the ultimate understanding is the Bhagavan feature. Such people are in diseased condition of life. So different degrees of affliction. So one is raga and other is bhaya. So raga is strong attachment to material life, leads to negligence of spiritual life. Another is bhaya. There's fear of personal spiritual identity because they think that their although soul is part and parcel of Krishna, and we're supposed to be the permanent servitor of Krishna, but the Mayavadis think that they will lose their personal identity, which they will not lose. We know it. So therefore, they hanker for merger because they are too absorbed in material bodily concept of retaining personality after liberation from matter frightens them. So this is the analogy. Impersonalists compare living entities to the bubbles in the ocean which merge into the ocean. So krodho is conception of void resulting from frustration of life. Become angry at all sorts of spiritual speculation out of hopelessness taken to in. So all this we see. My in the Ashtanga yoga system, many people, and therefore Arjuna also asked at some point that what happens to such yogi who lives it in a particular stage, maybe yama niyama, asana pranayama, dhyana dharana samadhi, somewhere he lost, then what happened? So that means what? That means people actually got lost. They could not attain to the stage of samadhi. So Krishna and Arjuna both were convinced of the fact that that is a difficult path, and the easier path is bhakti or Krishna consciousness. That is one, and second is that some of these people who somehow cannot do it, then because they have a hankering for some kind of bliss, so they go to some alternatives. So they get intoxication, take some take some hallucinogens. There are so many some LSDs and things like that. And in that consciousness, people who take LSD, etc., it gives an hallucination where they feel that they are actually out of body experience. They say OBE, out of body experience. So all this they have. So applying transcendental knowledge by hearing about Krishna, many persons in the past became purified and attained love for Krishna. They attained love for Krishna because this was their desire and Krishna fulfilled. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamyaham. What if someone takes shelter of Krishna with something other than a desire to achieve transcendental love for him? So 4.1 explain Krishna's reciprocation with such category of souls. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam तंस्तथैव भजाम्यहम् मम वर्तमानुवर्तन्ते मानुष्य पार्थ सर्वशः. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respect, O son of Partha. We can see here. For the gopis, he is the most, the epitome of a lover boy. He is the best lover because that's how, because they were there in the prema rasa. For the meditator, he's in the Santarasa. So he's the Paramatma. For the miscreants, he is the death personified. he becomes for let's say the demons who are there, for them he is death personified. Simultaneously he is a friend uh, with the gopis. Simultaneously he is the death personified for, let's say, Putna or anyone. All these are happening simultaneously in the same setting, in the same timeline, because ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sathaiva bhajamya. He is so merciful. Everyone is searching for Krishna in different aspects of his manifestation. He is partially realized in his impersonal Brahma Yotir, and as the omnipresent super soul is fully realized only by his pure devotees. Each is satisfied according to one's desire to have him, like gopis, like the gopas, like the meditators, like demons, like devotees. In the transcendental world, also Krishna reciprocates just as the devotee wants him. One may want Krishna as supreme master, then another person as a friend, another as his lover. So lover gets his lover, friend gets his friend, who and the master gets his he becomes his the servant gets his master. So all this exactly it will happen. Then Krishna rewards all the devotees equally according to their different intensities of love for him. In the material world, too much personal service to the Lord is seen giving transcendental place. For the impersonalists, that is the Mayavadis, helps by absorbing them into his effulgence. For them, for Mayavadi also, he helps them because they don't want a personal form. So for them also, Krishna has arranged for a Brahma Jyoti. Just so this is how the Krishna rewards everyone according to their surrender. So everyone is taking for Krishna in different aspect of his manifestation. Krishna is object of everyone's realization in different ways. So like what? Like devote. So for the fruitive worker, he is a Yajñeswara, because the different yajna will give different results, fruitive results. If for impersonalists, he is Brahma Jyoti. That's what they like. For yogis, he is the mystic power. For devotees, however, he is the Syama Sundara Bhagavan Krishna. And he was five primary rasa: the Shanta rasa, the Vatsalya rasa, then Dasya rasa, Sakhya rasa, and Madhurya rasa. Acha, all this is already there. Santarasa neutral, attitude of devotees. That is Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur states that in the Rajabhumi, the Yamuna river, Kadamba trees, the cows, Krishna's cowherd, steak, float, all are in Santarasa. They are all enjoying the pastime of Krishna, but in a Santa mood. And Dasya Rasa, active, very active. So Chitraka, Patraka, Raktaka are direct servants of Krishna and Hanuman of Ram. Sakhyarasa, of course, Arjuna is there, and their friends, all the friends of Vrindavanas are there. And 12 important cowherd boys are also there. They are called Sridama, Sudama, Arjuna, Subhabu, then Kusuma Saba, Mahabala, Subala, Vasudeva, Mahabhanu, Lavanga, Stoka Krishna, Dama. Then Vatsalarasa, we know in extracted law of parenthood, that is between Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, between Devaki and Vasudeva, Rohini, Balaram's mother, Devaki, all. Madhura Rasa is, of course, absolutely the uh, proprietary area of the Radharani and other gopis, and no one else. That is the about the conjugal love. But conjugal love is also of two types. One is called Vipralambha, that is conjugal love in separation, and other is Sambhoga, that is conjugal love in direct contact. That is with his. There are 9 stages of Bhakti Yoga: Shraddha, that is faith, then Sadhu Sangha, which we are doing now, association with devotees, of course, we are doing online, but you can do offline as well. Then Bhajana Kriya, then Anartha Nibruti, decreasing unwanted attachments. We have a lot of attachments which we're not able to, let's say, come to the class because of attachments only. Something more we think is more important. Maybe not miss the Netflix season is more important than this class. If that is so, then of course Anartha Nibruti will not happen. Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, and Prem. Then 9 process of devotion service. This we have covered in the 18-day class also. That is Sravana, Kirtana, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Pada Sevanam, Vishnu. Then Dasyam Sakhyam, Atmanivadanam. That we about. Impersonalists do not agree to accept the eternal blissful personality of Godhead. They cannot release the bliss of transcendental personal service to the Lord as they have extinguished their individuality. All this we've talked. So, but I think last point is most important. All attempts become perfect only when one is in Krishna consciousness. This is Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.10. Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradhihi tribena bhakti yogena yajate purusham param. A person who has broader intelligence, whether he be full of all material desire, without any material desire, whichever it is, or desiring liberation, must by all means worship the Supreme Whole, the personality of Godhead, in all the cases. That is akama, sarvakama, and mokshakama. Kangshantam karmanang siddhing yajantam iha devata Shipram hi manuse loki siddhir bhavati karmaja. Men in this world desire success in fruitive activities and therefore they worship the demigods. Quickly, of course, men get results from fruitive work in this world. So people worship many demigods because they want quick results. So for wealth, various demigods are there. We know that, right? However, what is more important is that demigods will definitely going to give the boon as the the devotee wants, desires. However, they will not be responsible for the good of the devotee in the sense that what is the best for the devotee, that is not their botheration. Their botheration is to just to give you whatever you want. But Krishna bothers because he says yogakshamam bahamyam. So whatever is not there, he will take care, and whatever is there, he will preserve. So demigods are not different forms of God, but they are God's different parts and parcels. Like we are parts and parcels of Krishna, demigods are also parts and parcels of Krishna, but they are having certain powers to manage because they have been given responsibilities. The Vedas say Nityo Nityanam. God is one. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sajidananda Vigraha. These demigods are all living entities, Nityana, but cannot be equal to Supreme God, Narayana, Vishnu, or Krishna. One who thinks that God and demigods are same is called an atheist or past person. D. Even the greatest demigods, Brahma and Shiva, worship the Lord. Narayana, Vishnu, and Krishna, the supreme personal Godhead, do not belong to this world. They are transcendental to material creation. The results obtained through demigods are temporary, meant for less intelligent persons. It's temporary, and so therefore it is not recommended, and it is not recommended for the intelligent who has got buddhi. So buddhi yoga means Krishna consciousness. Demigods are worshipped for temporary material opulence of this material world. Demigods as well as their worshippers will vanish with the annihilation of this material world. All the demigods will also vanish, but Krishna will be there as he is in his transcendental form, always young, Shyama Sundara, where in Goloka Vrindavan. So this is the difference. We are still in 4.12 only. So always worship Supreme as obedient servants created by Supreme, exist within material nature, delegated with various grades of power, subordinate to the will of Supreme, have material bodies and subject to birth, old age, disease, and death, come under the influence of their three material modes to different extents. All this is for the servants. And for Krishna, he is the supreme whole, he is the supreme worshipable, he is supreme creator, he is beyond material creation, he is supreme controller. Bhuktaram Yagatapasam, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, then supremely independent, complete spiritual body, no birth, death, old disease, and disease, completely beyond the influence of the three material modes, and it then eternally the same Supreme Lord, Achyuta. 4.14 Chaturvarnyam maya system gunakarma vibhagasa tasya kartaram api mang vidhi akartaram abhyayam. So there are four varnas he has created according to the three modes of material nature and the work associated with them. So one is uh, Guna and other is karma. Guna is sattva, raja, and tama, and karma is what the kind of karma they are doing. So whether they're in which mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance, and what kind of uh, karma they're doing. And based on that, this system is there. So what we say is that Brahmanas are always in the mode of goodness, Kshatriya are a mode of passion, Vaishyas are a mixed mode of passion and ignorance, and Shudras are mode of ignorance. So Lord created the four social divisions with the intelligent class of men. Brahmana situated in the mode of goodness, Kshatriya the administrative class situated in the mode of passion, Vaishyas the mercantile men situated in the mixed modes of passion and ignorance, and the Sudras or the lower class are situated in the mode of ignorance. Lord Krishna does not belong to any of these divisions because as he is not a conditioned soul, were created for, and all these varnas are created primarily for systematic development of Krishna consciousness to elevate man from the animal status. The tendency of particular man towards work is determined by the modes of material nature which he has acquired. A person in Krishna consciousness, however, is above even the Brahmanas. So all will get ultimately to Krishna consciousness. But as we understood that the devotional service can start only from the platform of Sattva. In other platforms, the devotional service cannot start. So ultimately, the Sudra will also come to the Sattva platform at some point of time. Therefore, this is how it is. So Lord Krishna does not belong to any of these modes. So Varnashrama Dharma, when we're talking about Vaishnava, Brahma, I mean, when we talk about Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya and Sudra, then they are in different modes as we just discussed. And purpose of the system is to elevate from the animal status to human status. So systematically it happens. So Brahmana by quality is so Brahmam Janati iti Brahmana. So whoever knows Brahman feature, who knows he is a Brahmana, but not necessarily he knows the Bhagwan feature. One who transcends limited knowledge and speaks knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is the Bhagwan feature of the Lord, he is called Vaishnava. And Krishna consciousness include knowledge of all different plenary expansions. And Lord Krishna and one in Krishna consciousness, Lord Krishna and one in Krishna consciousness. When we say one in Krishna consciousness, means he's completely in Krishna consciousness 24/7, like the gopis. So Lord Krishna and one in Krishna consciousness is transcendental to all division of society. So Varna Ashram Dharma, created by Krishna, who is the non-doer, as a mix of guna and karma from three modes of materialism plus work associated with them. And why? To avoid degradation, to protect, to support, to cooperation, and not discrimination. Because primarily, the caste systems and other things have been somehow propagated as if it is done for some discrimination. So it is not for discrimination. So this is the beautiful part of it. That ashramas from brahmanas are all brahmacharya, grahastha ashrama, banapasashrama, sannyasashrama. Ashram for kshatriyas are brahmacharya ashrama, kristashrama, banapasashrama, but sannyasa is not there. Sudras, grahasthashrama is there. Other ashramas are there, not there as of now. But they will move. They will move. Ultimately, everybody will move to the Krishna consciousness. Naman karmani limpante name karma phale spruha iti mang yobijanati karma virna sabadhyate. There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of work. Krishna says he is not bound by any work, but he continuously does work. And therefore, Prabhupada says that we should be always working. In fact, he does 20 to 21 hours of work, and that is with Yukta Vairagya. Everything that he uses was for Krishna, including his dictaphone. We can see the examples how Krishna is not bound. He jumps from his seat when Sudama comes. He in fact washes his feet and everything and gives all kinds of pleasure to him. But he's still not. He's still the supreme personality of Godhead. He doesn't come down from his position. Here also he has taken one of the wheel of the chariot and tried to kill Vishma. Of course, there is a story there. We'll not go into the story. That is Ye yatha mam prapadantam tatha tathaiva bhajamyaham. That is what it is. And here he just exchanges beautiful rasa with the as a friend, as a sakhya rasa to all the friends of Gopa. So here is an achyuta as well as a friend as well as a chariot driver. Although Lord is creator of this material world, he is not affected by the activities of the material world. He remains aloof from the creation. The living entities are entangled in the fruitive results of material activities because of their propensity for lording over the material resources. Therefore, Acharya says that Lord will be lording because he is Lord. But the moment we try to lord over nature, then we get entangled. The various creations of the Lord include the demigods, human beings, and lower animals, all subject to the reactions of their past good or bad activities. So this cycle of punya and papa and the birth and death, old disease, all the cycle. Therefore, it runs continuously. So the Lord only gives them the proper facilities of such activities and the regulations of the modes of nature, but he is never responsible for their past and present activities. Because people say no, that why why bad things happen to good people, why me, and so many things people say. Krishna is saying that he's not responsible. The Lord is never partial to any living being. A Krishna consciousness person is never subjected to the laws of karma. The last line is so beautiful. If we are Krishna consciousness, there is no karma left out, because he's saying aham tam sarva papebhyo moksheshami masuchaha. He's going to vanquish all the sins. With this note, we should be very, very happy, but still we have to go to the next verse. Okay. एवं ज्ञाता कृतं कर्म पूर्वेरोपि मुमुक्षुभिः कुरु कर्मैव तस्मात् त्वं पूर्वैः पूर्वतरे कृतम्. All the liberated souls in ancient times acted with this understanding of my transcendental nature. Therefore, you should perform your duty following in their footsteps. So now comes Krishna's instruction. Everybody is so in the parampara. So we talked about four paramparas. Then one parampara, this is on the right hand side, it is our parampara, Brahma Gaudiya, Madhva Gaudiya parampara. Everyone in the parampara had got this transcendental knowledge and had a direct perception of Krishna, and they're in constant action. They did their swadharma, whatever is there. So now you fight. Okay. Some more. I think one or two we take and then stop. Understanding karma on the platform of jnana, removing reactions. Transcendental knowledge helps one to clear up philosophical doubts. Also helps to clear up karmic bank balance, one's karma. Then karma is a universal law of nature. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction as per Newton's law. Bad karma is obviously undesirable, and Krishna explains that even good karma should be avoided. So, not that only bad karma should be avoided, even the good karma also binds, because it takes you to heaven or Brahma Loko or Tapa Loko or Jana Loko or whichever Loko you want, maybe for 1,000 years, maybe for million years, but again you come back to the earth. So, therefore, not coming back the situation, if we want, then the only possibility is to be in the Krishna consciousness and also abandon the good karma. How? Through Yukta Vairagya. Beyond good and bad is the spiritual level. No action and reaction. Akarma. So understanding karma on the platform of jnana. Okay, I think we have less time. Okay, which slide is it? Is it fine? We can stop here. Not an issue. We can stop here. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha कृपा सिंधु वैवच पतितानां पावनेभ्यो